And now I would like to invite our next speaker of the evening. Today we have Miss Sandhya Prakash ji, and she will be talking on the essence of self in relation to Mahiṣāsura Mardinī Stotra. Miss Sandhya Prakash ji is a thought leader, speaker, entrepreneur, and a singer. With her background in management studies and 25 years of work experience in the Middle East in trading, software, and sustainability, she specializes in business development and sales. She welcomes you all to join the dots with Sandhya, an integrated thinking caps approach to receive personal and business charity. You can visit her website for more information, and we welcome you, Ms. Sandhya ji.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aparna. I hope everybody can hear me and see me.
Ji. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Aparna, that was a wonderful presentation. Glad to be making a segue into what I'm going to present today. You are a storyteller, and thank you for bringing alive the story of Devī-Mahātmyaṁ today. Thank you. So, Shubh Navratri to everybody. These 9-10 days we think of Devi. Today, what I'm going to present in the next half an hour is going to be the essence of self, a very practical insight into how we can live our life today. So what is Mahiṣāsura in today's life? Who is Mahiṣāsura? Do they live outside of us? Do they live inside of us? What is the essence of self? What is the self? What is the consciousness that we all carry within us? How expanded are we? Are we on the journey to learning every day? What is helping that happen? Are we learning how to raise our consciousness from point A to point B? Are we able to deal with the practicality of challenges that are thrown our way today? We can join the dots along with me. I'm sure each one of us is well endowed, and if there are people who understand English, nahi to join the dots matlab, बचपन में हम लोगों ने एक बुक में बहुत सारे डॉट्स होते हैं, तो उसको पूरे ज्वाइन करके फिर पता चलता है वो एक एलिफेंट निकला. We realize that this is going to be an elephant. So otherwise you would join the dots and suddenly what would emerge is a beautiful flower. So everybody's life is full of experiences dotted along the way, and you can join the dots along with me today as we discover the Stotram, which was beautifully recited in the beginning of Mahiṣāsura Mardinī. Now, practical applications are very important as far as I'm concerned. So I will share with you some thoughts using a PowerPoint presentation as well, so that we can see, we can hear, and we can implement what we learned today. There is, with that, and invoking the Devi, I will share my presentation right now. I hope everybody can see this presentation.
Yes.
Wonderful. So the essence of self, the Mahiṣāsura Mardinī Stotra, in the context of Mahiṣāsura Mardinī Stotra. My name is Sandhya Prakash. I've been living in the Middle East for almost 3 decades and recently returned back to India. I've studied in a college called BITS Pilani in the middle of Rajasthan, and then worked in the IT field, been an entrepreneur all my life, helping new businesses grow, thoughts to be manifested, ideas to be manifested. And I really enjoy sharing whatever little knowledge that I gain or insights that I gain. So today, what we will see is this. And let me make a segue from where Aparna left off. So who is Mahiṣāsura? Mahiṣāsura stood for a male who believed that a woman could never be the cause of his end. And it was this mentality of Mahiṣāsura which forced the divine feminine to act. If he hadn't said that, we would have never known this mentality exists, right? Now, with this mentality, why did it exist? Why did that thought exist in Mahiṣāsura's mind? Because he thought compassion, love, that is the embodiment of a woman, is meek and helpless. That was the thought he had, that compassion and love and the motherly feeling is meek and helpless. So how can she kill me? It's impossible for, a woman to kill me, is what he thought. But we know that compassion can be strong, love can be strong as well. Now, if the opportunity comes naturally, then always a surprise helps, right? And many Western cultures, I know there is a lot of people who are joining from US and other places. Many Western cultures see compassion as a weakness. And it's almost like they don't somehow means that you're not striving hard enough for success. You actually don't have what you've not got what it takes to be successful. So many Western cultures see compassion as a weakness. But here in India, Mahiṣāsura Mardinī, the Devis, all the 9 days that we celebrate, the first 3 days being Durga, then Lakshmi and Saraswati, we have an entire gamut of qualities of the divine feminine that we celebrate. And compassion is not weakness. Compassion and love is not meekness. It's not helplessness. So in today's session, when I asked for an insight on what I should be presenting today, then the divine kind of guided me through this because I wanted to discover also something from within and which is new. So Mahiṣāsura Mardinī and Ma Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess, and if you literally see the meaning of Saraswati, the essence of self is actually the meaning Saraswati. Sara means the essence, sar. We say in Hindi or Sanskrit, swa means my own self. So the literal meaning of Saraswati is the essence of self. She's the goddess of learning, speech, wisdom, music, like Veda Ravi Shankarji was saying. The tongue, in the center, the Vak Shakti is there. So the learning, the speaking, the arts, everything is endowed with Ma Saraswati, the essence of self. In the modern context, okay, let's make it practical. And today, from this next half hour, if you can take away something, it would be something practical, which I'll share with you. And I really hope that you can get something out of this. And please, questions are welcome in the chat box, where I'll try to answer them after finishing the presentation. So in the modern context, can you write down on the chat box, what is Mahiṣāsura? Yeah. What are the asuric tendencies? In the modern context, what we can say, it's violence, anger, jealousy, greed, manipulation, cruelty, barbarism, rape. I think all these are Mahiṣāsura tendencies, asura tendencies, right? So when someone we love is harming themselves or others, what is it that we should do? How do we bring in the Mardini, the Mahiṣāsura Mardinī in us? That is the question. Yeah. Are there ways we can invoke something within us which can kill the asuric tendencies within us? Can we improve the essence of self that we have? Can we expand ourselves? doing that? So the qualities of Mahiṣāsura Mardinī. When someone we love is harming themselves or others. For example, let me just take a small example. Suppose we are standing by a bridge and you see that somebody who is totally given up on life is trying to commit suicide, for example. What can you do standing there? Or what can that person do? What is happening? We have three choices, right? One, we can give up, we can give in, we can stay quiet, and the person who is going through this can play the victim or the martyr. The second thing we can do is we can beg, pester, nag, play the codependent manipulator. We can say, oh, please don't do this. I really request you, don't jump off this. Life is great. Can you give me one chance? Can you turn back? Beg, nag, and pester not the other person not to do that. The third, which is actually the most positive way of dealing with any situation where someone we love is harming themselves or others, is draw a line in the sand with something called tough love. Tough love. Please keep this word in your mind and let us see how we can implement it. As the word says, it's tough love. It's also very tough to implement this. What it needs for it, there are three things we'll talk about. Discipline, number one, and discernment, and distance or detachment that we need to keep. If there is one thing you want to take away from the next half hour, please remember these, and we'll go through each one of this with examples and stories to know how we can implement tough love to be a Mahiṣāsura Mardinī on a day-to-day basis. So let me start with the first, discipline. Essence of self, right? That's what I'm supposed to talk today. But when I was thinking of this word essence, on a play of words, a sense of self. A sense of self, a sense of self. Yeah, that's what it is. And that's where discipline. What is a sense? How many senses do we have? We all know we have 5 senses, or you can add the 6th sense as well. And you have the 6 senses, right? Taste, touch, smell, speech. You can also add thought and insight into it. This actually, just a trivia for you. This is Horus symbol from the ancient Egyptian civilization too. Okay, so the 5 senses, if we discipline the 5 senses in a particular direction, we are closer to ascertaining who we are and getting more self-conscious. So just like we have in the Bhagavad Gita, the 5 horses with reins in the hands of Sri Krishna, it is symbolic of the 5 senses being reined in. It is very important for us to day look at each one of these sensory perceptions, close our eyes, for example, and go in and do meditation, fasting, and take control of taste, so on and so forth. And we kind of have to have the discipline to do this. From a war room to a workroom, from the let it be any type of role or relationship that we have, from living room to the bedroom. Each one of these 5 senses and the 6th sense needs to be reined in. And this is applicable in all relationships and all roles, right? So if we are able to discipline ourselves, there is a great tool and strength that we build in ourselves to deal with the asuric tendencies. These asuric tendencies can be from outside or from within. Okay, we are all mirror reflections of each other. So today, let us take a vow to be very aware and conscious of the 5 senses. If I'm hearing something which is generating a tamas in me or a rajas in me, I will become aware. how much of it I want to take in. Yeah. So this is extremely important. I see, Sumit, you have raised your hand. Please put down your question on the chat box. The second is discernment. Now, Ma Saraswati is the goddess of wisdom. And the goddess of wisdom is helping us to be discerning. Discerning means what? What is right? What is wrong? Does this help me? Does this not help me? Does this particular action help me to move forward, or is it going to take me backwards? So the knowledge that Devi Saraswati will give us, the knowledge which will assist in our action of tough love again. Now, this particular discernment quality, I want to take an example, right? You know, in the US, we have a lot of gun culture that goes on there. And in the education segment especially, there has been a lot of shootings and other things, and it makes my heart bleed when I see that in a place of education, in a place of Saraswati, where there are people going to seek knowledge, you know, we have proliferated a gun culture where it is, you know, this is actually a gun made out of pens. So is it pen that is mightier than the sword? You know, you have heard of that. A teacher is having a gun and a pen in the other hand. What are we doing to the society today? The children are coming there to learn, and that has to be in a space of security, fearlessness, and so on. So when we are making policies at the government level, when we are thinking big at the educational institution level, the leaders of every single organization, especially in this particular example that I say, we have to have the wisdom to know how to choose what is right, what is wrong, what should be kept there. And we always have a choice. There is a saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. So if you want to deal with a particular situation, we can speak, we can write, we can also use physical force, right? So the choice is up to you, but that discernment will help us improve ourselves. The tough love that I have been talking about can be built along with this wise choice in our head. So we need to continuously educate everybody. And this particular session by INADS and BSRF is one such education session on how we can build that strength from within to be discerning and build that wisdom on what is right and what is wrong. This is the second area we need to work. The third is in building the essence of ourself and knowing who we are is detachment, or creating a distance, right? So if you want to practice tough love to control the asuric tendencies within others or us, you know, people who you love, people who you are nearby, then we need to create a distance. So let me tell you a story which is about a bullock cart, two men, and a tree. Actually, this is a very famous story told by Osho as well, and various other learned people from around the world. And I want to share this with you today. So there was this village where there was a big tree, and under that tree, there sat a man. There was another man sitting on top of the tree. So they were just, you know, travelers who were going from one village to another. They were tired. They were sitting below, and the guy sitting at the bottom of the tree was looking out, and he saw that a bullock cart was coming towards him. So he saw the bullock cart coming from the left to the right, and it passed him and then went to the right side, and he kept looking at it till it went out of his vision, right? There was no more bullock cart. So What happened with that person's eyesight? He looked at the bullock cart arriving from the left. Okay. As soon as it came into his field of vision, it became his present moment. And then it went, and then when it went to the right side, it was probably going into the future. So imagine and visualize the past, present, and future. The same thing was being observed by the man standing on top of the tree. What happened to him? He started seeing the bullock cart much before the guy sitting below, right? So he was sitting on top, and the bullock cart came into his field of vision much before. It came into his present moment much before the guy sitting in the down below. So he kept watching, and he watched and watched and watched, and actually he noticed the bullock cart for a very long time, a longer time than the guy sitting below. So his present moment was really long. The present moment of the guy sitting below, how short was it? It was shorter than the guy sitting on top. So keep that thought in mind. So when the bullock cart is moving, if one is the guy sitting below, his present moment was this tall. The guy sitting on top, his present moment is much higher. So my point I'm trying to make is the distance between the two. If you're on a higher plane, you will be able to have more consciousness for a much longer time, and you'll be aware of the present moment. We all have to be working in the present moment if we are to be detached and we are to be distanced from the emotions that capture us and waste our energy on a day-to-day basis. The essence of self is the combination of Durga and Saraswati. Tough love you can practice. And if in today's world, especially where we have the senses being bombarded from all the different directions, from social media, the distractions are tremendous, right? So wherever you go, even the children are no longer in the same protected manner that we were brought up in. We didn't have that many distractions. Now we have social media, we have knowledge which is available, the peer group which is brimming with knowledge. Are they able to sit in the schools and colleges and learn? Most of the students know more than the teachers, right? And so it is very important for us to be practicing tough love with everybody. And how we can do that is connecting Devi Durga and Saraswati. And that is my message to everybody today. In this context of Mahiṣāsura Mardinī, if we are to evolve and become like the man who was sitting on top of the tree with a larger field of vision in the present moment, we need to practice discipline, we need to practice discernment, and we need to be keeping a distance or detachment on a day-to-day basis. I hope these three little stories were useful for you. And if you take forward something from here, it should be these 3 Ds and the practice of self-love. So I will stop here and request for questions, because I would really help. That would really help us. I still have about 7 minutes, and would really 7 to 8 minutes, almost 10 minutes. So if there's any question, I will close the presentation right now, stop sharing, and I'd like to talk to the people here. Thank you very much.
Really, Sandhya ji, really very happy, because when you are presenting with the graphic method and self-related, you are fill up the blanks. Okay, Aparna Athreya given the stories of Mahiṣāsura, how the kill, and Sandhya ji is filling with the science, with the self. So really, I am very happy Devi will sitting with everyone and delivering the truth of wisdom knowledge to everyone. And thank you very much, Sandhya ji, and really appreciate about your Vak Shakti. And another one, Vak Chaturi also having. That is one of the most important. There are Vak Shakti, Vak Siddhi, Vak Chaturiya. The Vak Chaturiya also is very important because Sandhya ji is explained with the Vak Chaturiya, with the clever and intelligent and smart explanation. That is called Vak Chaturiya. Really, thank you very much. So Devi will bless to remind the glory of manifestation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I see that, when I was thinking of what to speak for today, I want to share this with the audience. Historic stories, there's so much depth. There is so much to learn. But what the present generation, and even we, each one of us, are living in a different world today. It is changing by the day. The experiences have to be simplified, and we need to deliver solutions. There are problems in this planet, and what we need to do is have a solution mindset and deliver that from time to time. Lalanji, would you like to ask a question? I think I saw a raised hand from somebody. Yes, please go ahead, Lalanji.
As an audience, I was expecting something you will say about Lakshmi also.
I will keep for another session, but I wanted to tell you, I really thought about it. I didn't want to confuse the audience. I just wanted to connect two dots. Okay. In terms of Lakshmi, I will just give you a clue so you can start connecting in your own context.
Sure.
Okay. What came when I was talking about Lakshmi is today's world, there are relationships and there are transactions, right? When there is a transactional relationship, there is an exchange of energy, exchange of money. Lakshmi plays a huge role there. Okay. And that I would love to do another session to connect individuals with the heart and soul of Lakshmi between relationships and the transactional relationships that we have. I hope I have answered it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Can I
Dr.
ask-
Jayanti.
Yes. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I just have a couple of things to ask. First thing I would like to ask you, how do you define essence? When you talk about the essence of the self, do you mean to say that the way the Indian mind understands that, or the way Western mind understands, like if we go back to the theory of essence, we find in Cartesian philosophy, actually, they have developed the concept of essence. I think, therefore, I exist. That is a kind of essence. And then you go back to Nagarjuna theory, that is the theory of Sunyavad. So, though he has not accepted the theory of essence, but he has defined the essence without which the substance cannot exist.
True.
That is a kind of essentialistic. So how do you define here the concept of essence?
So here is where I started the session by saying each one of us is gifted with a different wisdom of looking within, right? It may happen very early in life, middle life, or now if I am to define in a very generic and very basic manner, the essence is a sense. I broke that word essence into a sense, and the sensory perceptions, what they see of the self, and what are the 5 or 6 senses that I spoke. So I will go with a new definition of essence is what are those 5 senses capable of perceiving, because I am born and my experiences and my 5 senses bring to me an essence of Sandhya. okay, which is beautiful according to me. And same way, Dr. Jayanti at every stage in life is going to build an essence. So who am I to define essence? I know we have these Cartesian philosophy and all the other philosophers have defined, but it is, we need to redefine that in present age. That is my personal opinion.
And ma'am, there is a problem that because the role of sense organs are very limited. If we
True.
go by Indian analysis, because in fact, they don't have any kind of knowledge. What they receive knowledge, they receive from the self. Like in Indian tradition, self is the only cognitive entity. Okay, so going by that, then how do you establish the...
So as I said, the sixth senses. So the first five, suppose they have been controlled, you have really monitored it, and you are directing it towards a particular goal of self-realization, right? Then what happens is your sixth sense, seventh sense, and your other dimensions start expanding, like the man on the tree. You know, the tree, his field of vision is fabulous, right? So he's in the present moment for a longer time. So this is a practice which takes us there. And there are many learned gurus, when you listen to them, when you're just sitting in their company, you can feel it, right? So my answer to you is just that it's a journey. Nobody is behind, nobody is in front. We are all on this trip together in the present environment. So keep it going, keep the search going.
Very well said, Ms. Sandhya Prakash ji, and that was a very learned presentation and very different, because everyone might have thought that this program is based on some religious beliefs and we are talking about that thing only, but no, it's not like that. And we are basically defining various aspects of Devi in our various fields.